Hey, welcome back. I'm going to go ahead and continue on with this series a little bit. Hopefully, keep these fairly short. I think the only thing I'm hoping to really accomplish in this video is to get these timing loops that I created in the last video to get them to fire when they're hit by a vehicle and to potentially record the time. We'll see if I can get that far. So what I'm going to do is, and we're getting into the heavy coding part of this, there's not going to be a lot of, it's almost all going to be C++ code. So let's take a look at my timing loop class. It's got a type, which we did last time. It's either, start, finish, sector 1, sector 2, or a general timing loop. I'm going to close some of these tabs I have open. I guess I can just close all of them. So the first thing I need to do is create a function that will fire when the timing loop is hit by something. And this is going to be a delegate. And so I'm going to copy and paste this right out of some documentation because it has to have this particular definition. Actually, you know what? Let me start typing and see if the AI sort of figures it out. We'll call it void on hit. Yeah, it doesn't figure it out at all. All right, let me copy the definition from the documentation and put it right in there. Oh, I got the whole function. So on hit, we want this function to fire. So right now I'm going to go ahead and generate the definition for this. And I think what I'm going to do is just write to the log. What do I want to write? I guess verbosity. I can never remember. This definition has been too long since I interesting. Okay. I guess that's the correct definition for it. It's been too long since I've done this, so I'll just say we'll just write a log entry when it happens, and now we have to we have to hook this function up. So first of all, let's enable the collisions here. So up in the begin play, we'll do we could also set this in the UI, but since we want it to always be true, we might as well set it here. I feel like I'm missing that I need to actually set this up in the constructor. But let me go ahead and compile this. Give it just a minute. I'll take a look at the documentation while it's compiling. Okay, taking a look. While it was going there, I think. Well, let's see. Let me take a look at what I can do here. So on the constructor, No. Oh. Doesn't like that. Give me just a second here. That one does. There we go. That's the one I want. Okay. God almighty. There we go. I think that'll work because I don't care what it begins and ends. I only care that it was hit. So on hit, I think makes sense for me rather than begin and end overlap. So let me compile this again. Okay, so live coding finished, and I'll say this about live coding. It works pretty well, but there are times where it will work so bad that it will crash your entire editor. So make sure you save a lot when you're using it. And what I always do at the end of when I'm done working for a particular session, I'll shut down the editor, save everything, and then I'll completely recompile the solution so I know everything's correct. Okay, so now we have theoretically an event that should fire when we drive over one of these. Good grief, I should have rebooted my machine before I started today, it looks like. Let's see if we can turn off. It's still slow as hell. Wow. Okay. So let me shift F1 here to get the output log window open. Whoops. And let's see what happens when we drive over this. Nothing. Another one up here. Nothing. Nothing in the debugger. Let's change this to warning. You know what? Let me do this. Let me shut down the editor and do a full compile. Gotta give it a minute to shut all the way down. There we go. So I recompiled and I got the Unreal Editor opening back up, but the reading I'm doing here, I'm sort of reading as I'm building this. So I'm reading that this binding like this to the delegate should always happen in the begin play, which I believe I remember from using this before. It's been a long time, but I'm going to go ahead and move it into the begin play there, just so I know that that'll work. And I'm going to use live coding again to compile that. Okay, so it's done compiling. I'm going to go ahead and hit the start button here. And we just ran over one, and I think the other one's right up here. And let me hit Shift F1, and I see nothing. Nothing at all. So what I'm going to do I'm going to cut this down. I'm going to turn it off. And when I launch this time, I'm going to launch the debugger. So I'm going to set breakpoints on both of those. Actually, not that one. Set it right here. And I'm going to run in debug mode and believe development editor is what I want. So I'm going to pause while that starts up. I gotta go check on dinner. Okay, my editor's launched. My dinner's okay for the moment. Let me start. And we can see it hit. There's no exceptions or anything coming from that, so presumably it's hooked up correctly. But never fired. That is a major bummer. All right, I'm gonna have to dig into that a little bit. Before I do, I'm gonna go ahead and create the other pieces of this that I need. Turn this off. Let me get my cat out of here. Okay, that would have driven me crazy. Okay, so when this timing loop is hit, what I want to do is send information to the main timing system. So this timing system is on the game state, so I can access it that way. Maybe that's the best way, because what I could do is create in the timing loop class, I could create like a parent timing system variable that gets set, you know, when the level loads, it would set it, and we could just, maybe I should do that. If I come in and do a U property, and we can call it, this would be a U timing Cobra timing. U Cobra timing system, add a forward declaration for it, and call it parent timing system. And we need to set it to null pointer here, and what would happen is on begin play, it would look for the timing system in the parent and set it so that we don't have to constantly call for it. So gonna get the game state checked, and this is gonna be a, is it A or U? I don't remember. A. Or A Cobra game state. I don't have a function for this yet, but I'm going to create one. So we're going to get a reference to the timing system. So to do that, I need to go back to Cobra game state, and we've already got the timing system here, but we need accessor method. And this is really just going to be one line of code. So I'm thinking, we just do it right in line here. I'm not sure how big of a fan I am of this, but do I even need that? I don't know that I even need that to be a U function right now. So we've got the get timing system. It returns a reference to the timing system. So the Cobra timing loop has a reference to its parent timing system. So now we need another function in Cobra timing system. It's going to be public, and it's going to be what should we call it? I guess we'll call it. It's going to be a void, be report timing information. And really what I want to pass to this is some sort of structure that has basically a car number, the index of maybe just the car number and the loop that it hit. I think that might be all for now. But what I do need to do in order to make that happen, of course, is my vehicle is going to need I always like to initialize to something if I can right here. So I'll initialize it to 0. But this is going to be, we'll make it a U property for now so we can set it in the blueprint. At runtime, it'll obviously get set by some other means, but for now, setting it in the blueprint is good enough. So we need a vehicle number, and now we need a class. And it's going to go in the timing system folder, we'll call it. It's going to inherit from U object. We'll call it Cobra vehicle timing. Now, Cobra, let's call it Cobra timing signal. How about that? Make it public. Actually, you know what? Maybe I should just do a struct for this. Yeah. Let me do a ustruct, which I have not, I don't know if I have done one, but it's been a while, so let me look it up. Okay, wanted to look at that real quick because I think that, because there's some weird stuff you have to do, and I knew there was, but I couldn't remember what it was. So, in timing, we're going to create a, you know what, let's do a struct and call it, what did I call it? Cobra timing signal. And I assume that just created an H file. No, it created a CPP too. Look at that, which I do not need. So we'll get rid of that. And in Cobra timing signal, this will be a ustruct. Actually, I should put in the weird stuff first. So we need a couple of includes. This is the weird Unreal Engine stuff that it usually creates for you when you create a class. So since I'm doing a struct by hand, I have to remember to okay, so Cobra timing signal. What are we going to want? We're going to want the vehicle number. And we're going to want the index of the, you know what, let's put a U property on this. There we go. Okay. So we've got the vehicle number and we want the index of the timing loop that it hit. Oh, right. Unreal likes to put F in front of its structs. Okay, so I think that's all we want for now. So this is going to be the struct that gets passed in to our function. So Cobra timing loop, or Cobra timing signal, not, sorry, took some meds earlier, unfortunately, so I'm a little foggy. So we're going to pass an F Cobra timing signal, forward declare it here, and just call it, actually, we'll pass a reference, even though really it probably doesn't matter. So that's our timing signal. Now we're going to generate this guy. Actually, I don't like the name of that function. There we go. I think I like that a little bit better. I always try to have my functions mean something when you look at them, be very meaningful. And so I sometimes spend more time than I should worrying about things like what the names are, but I'm not going to worry about giving the car number or anything right now. So we got a log there. So that's what's going to happen. So what I'm going to do is I think I'll have another T map here. And I don't actually really this is probably not a good idea. There we go. And we'll have tmap int, that's going to be car number, and then I want to have, you know what, I'm not going to put this here for now because what I want is basically, I want another struct that's going to hold the full timing information for a car for the entire race. So it's going to have, inside of this struct will be probably another a T array of lap times, a T array of sector times, an integer of the last timing loop that you ran over, things like that. That's what I'm going to save to, but I'm not going to worry about creating that for now. I want to keep it simple, especially because I'm trying to keep these videos a little shorter. So right now we are running over the loop. Our function's not hitting yet, but we'll figure that out. I'll take into that in a minute. Then when that loop is hit, Cobra timing loop, we want to send that signal. So we're going to say first of all, I'm going to say if, because I don't have that filled in for now. I got to figure out how I want to populate the that parent object. So actually, it probably is getting populated the way I wrote that code. So we'll do if this parent timing system, and we'll call receive timing signal, and we will create come on, get the header for this. Let's see, we're going type 2, type from here. Can I just do 2? Yeah, 2, a Cobra vehicle. The other actor. I don't have a function yet for get vehicle number, so I'm going to have to add that. So let's do that real quick. Cobra vehicle.h down here, we want public. Okay, and that can probably be const. So it's telling me, I'm guessing, yep. Okay, so we're gonna, now we've got the function to get the vehicle number. And we're gonna send we need oh, whoops, spelled it wrong. Okay. So when it's hit, we're gonna log temp. If the parent timing system is there, we're gonna create a signal and we're gonna send the signal to the timing system, which is exactly what we want to do. And this, so I hate this. This green line here, I always try to get rid of all the little squigglies. This one is telling me this function could be made const, but I'm pretty sure if I make it const, it's not going to work here. Like, I don't think you can pass a const function into that delegate and have it work. So I'm just going to ignore that. I'm going to close Unreal Engine. Actually, it's already closed. I'm going to do a build on this, and I'm going to pause and dig in, see if I can figure out why this function is not being hit. And I'll make sure I let you know what it was. Okay, one thing I forgot is in this struct at the very top, just like every, every Unreal class needs this. And I'm pretty sure the reason why my on hit is not firing is because my settings are not correct in Unreal. So once this builds correctly, I'll fire up the editor and see what my settings are. Okay, I'm in the editor now. First thing I want to do is look at my world settings, and I need to set my game state to, you know what, I'm going to create a blueprint. That inherits from the game state class I made. Game state. There we go. So I'm going to create that blueprint. I'm going to use that as my game state class in my world settings. And I'm going to take a look at my timing loop blueprint. Let's take a look at the box component here. Simulation generates hit events. But do I have to have simulate physics turn on? Because I don't want that. Let's see what happens. Uh-oh. Something isn't set up correctly. Yikes. Let me turn this back to just game state. Let's see what happens. Whoa, hey. Got a crash. The cast failed on the map, probably because I'm expecting a game state. Whoops, where was it? Right there. So let's just comment that out for now. And just see if I can get my log to fire. So this code will not run at all. I just want to see my log entry get hit. So I'll wait again for the editor to fire up. Okay, I've got the game mode started up. Let me run over. I still don't think I got anything there. Nope. Okay, let me take a look at my vehicle. Generate overlap events. Generate hit events. I've had issues before with both of these checked. No. Gonna dig a little deeper. Let me pause for a minute and do some research. So I have it actually working, but it's not going to work because I'm sure anybody who knows Unreal Physics probably already knows this, but it's been too long since I've worked with it. I don't remember it. Now that I've got the collision working, because it's generating a hit event, it's like my vehicle's hitting a wall. So instead of that, I have to use overlap, which I didn't want to use because it I don't know. I thought this would be simpler, but obviously it's not going to work. So I'm going to have to convert this to overlap events. So what I want to do is in my timing loop class, okay, we're going to generate overlap events. We're not going to generate hit events. Maybe I need to turn off notify rigid body collision. Okay, we'll see. And I'm going to have to replace my on hit with on begin overlap. So let me look up the definition for that. Begin overlap. So we'll take a look at the header file and we will place this with on begin overlap. We will generate that method. Take all of our code out of here. Put it in here, get rid of this guy, and then up here on begin overlap, there we go. Well, that was a lot easier than I was expecting. Let me compile. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, so we'll find out here in a second. Actually, while that's compiling, let me do a couple things. One, in timing loop, simulate physics off. Generate hit events off. Generate overlap events on. Collision presets. Overlap all dynamic. We'll save that. I also, while I was paused, I came in and made this a static object because obviously it shouldn't move. And let me go look at my, whoops, grief. Look at my vehicle. Simulate physics and gravity should be on. Collision, I believe we still want to generate hit events, otherwise I think we'll just go right through objects. Generate overlap is on. I think that's everything we want. Let me save everything. and make sure. No, I'm not done compiling yet, so I'll pause and wait for that to finish. Okay, that's done. Hopefully it didn't mess with my settings at all that I just set. See what happens now. Good grief. Turn off clouds. Component hit. Component hit. So they both fired. So I think I'm going to stop there. The one thing I know that I'm going to need to do immediately is make my game state and game mode work together, because if I choose, I lost my blueprint when I killed. That's the danger of live coding. Game state. Let me real quick just look here what we got. Okay, so I think I'll have to read up about this problem I'm having, but I think if I set this game state now in here, nothing's gonna work. Oh, it did. Okay, I'll be damned. So let's see. Am I running in debug mode? Let me check. Yes, I am running in debug mode. Let's see what happens now. Okay, so I hit. There's my log entry. My timing system is null. Yeah, because I commented out. Okay, well that'll be the first thing I probably work on next time, but for now I'm running, I'm hitting my timing loops, and they're logging out that they've been hit. That's pretty much all I want for now. So I'm going to stop that, see both my log entries, everything's working the way it should, so the next time I'll add some logic into the actual timing system to start collecting lap times and stuff. Of course, I'll have to get my game state fixed in order to pull that off. So that's what's up next. So thanks for hanging out, and take care. See you next time.